What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. You know who I am. I'm the Spade. What's up, guys? I hope everybody's doing well today. Today we're going to be going over 3 techniques that if you want to be a pro, you should know. So let's just break into the goodies. As always, before we get started, guys, I appreciate all of you. If you like what I'm doing here, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you want to be notified of my next video. If you saw my last video, I did a little something on a company called Insta360. They reached out to me. We're working something out. When that gets worked out completely, I'll be updating you guys on what I think of the whole situation. Also, the cards I'm going to be using, of course, mine. You can get those at 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙𝗙𝗪, or I'll make it easy for you. Just check out the QR link that's going to pop up on the screen right now. And if you guys want to learn some dope tricks, you can go to 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙𝗢. Anything that you do to help support me, 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙 or 𝗦𝗧𝗥𝗢𝗠 helps support me, and of course those companies and the videos that I'm making here for you as well. Also, some crazy exciting things that are happening at 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙. There's magicians from different parts of the world that have magic that here in the US we may never get to see or never get to learn, and I have access to some of it. One of the things I was holding it back a lot was finding somebody who could translate. So right now we're setting up some lectures with a few Korean magicians and some Japanese ones, and we have a translator. Right now the translator for the Korean magicians is going to be 𝗧. If you don't know who 𝗧 is, he's an amazing magician. And we're going to be setting up these lectures live for you to come hang out, and packages that have some of their products that we're going to be releasing to you at a discounted price that they sell on their own. Trust me when I tell you, I've seen one of them so far. My God, it's so good. There's so much good magic out there, and I'm excited to help you get to see some of it too. So pay attention to 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙 because we have some good things coming up. We're also going to be releasing a few products that I think you guys would really like. One by my boy Caramel, one by my boy Blaze, and something really interesting from I'm just gonna let you see it. Anyway, that's about it. Let's get right into the tutorial. We're gonna be teaching you 3 moves today. We're gonna be teaching you a peek, how to get an Injog, and how to get a key card. I'm going to show you an interesting way to get a key card that'll actually fool a lot of magicians as well. So let's get into these top 3 moves right now. So the first one I'm going to show you right now is an Injog. Now this is a move that if you've done any amount of magic, you should know how to use an Injog, how to get an Injog, and what the purpose of it is, and how to control where the cards go with that Injog. So let's say I have a card here, let's say the Queen of Hearts, and I want to control that card to the top of the deck. Now I could do it just by holding a break, or I could Injog either the actual Queen, or the card above it, or the card below it. Either way, I could come to the same exact outcome regardless of either situation. So let's start with the top card. So let's say the Queen of Hearts is on top of the deck, and I'm going to Injog one card above it, and everything goes on top. Now this is really exaggerated, but this is an Injog. So now if I want the card to come to the top, all I have to do is lift up on this Injog and give the deck a cut, and now it goes to the top of the deck. Now I could do this again. This time we'll do it with the selection. This is where you have the most control. So now I'm actually Injogging the Queen itself. Now, depending on what I do from this moment is going to determine where the card goes. For example, if I want the card to come to the top, if I try to lift up again, that's actually going to place that on the bottom. So instead what I want to do is push down on that Injog and get a break above it, and now I can cut this card to the top. It's not very difficult, but once you start using it more, you'll start to understand. And of course, the inverse of that is to do it with the card underneath. So let's say the card is here, and I'm going to grab an Injog here. Now I would push down on the deck, and the card will automatically go to the bottom. It's not going to go to the top. So if you want the most control, you use an Injog with the selection. That's just one way. There's tons of uses for Injogs. If you know 𝐏𝐻𝐕𝐈𝐻𝗑𝗠 uses Injogs. You can go check that out on 𝗦𝗧𝗨𝗙𝗙𝗪.com. And that's about it. It's one of those moves that as you become more proficient at card magic and you start getting to more advanced things, you don't necessarily need to hold a break for everything. You can have a card selected, have the card return to the deck, square everything up, put the deck down, and I'm holding an Injog, even though I'm not holding the deck. So right from here, I have control over the card. I could pick up the card from here, push down, get a break, and now the card is on top of the deck, or whatever I want to do from there. The choice is up to you. Practice it, play around with it, and think of how you can use some Injogs and other tricks as well, because believe it or not, it is very useful, especially when you know you don't have to hold a card. For instance, if I want to, let's say, have somebody peek at a card, I can let them peek at the card and then hold a break below it with my pinky. Now from here, I pull an Injog with my pinky, and now I have the selection. I don't need anything else. It's right there. I could then pick up the deck, pull the Injog or push the Injog, and that will give me the selection. So that's it. Let's move on to the next thing. We're going to show you how to get a key card. So a key card is basically like an Injog. It's a way to know the location of something without knowing the exact object. So for instance, let's say I know that the 3 of diamonds is at the bottom of the deck. I can have somebody select a card. I don't need to know what it is. I can then cut the card into the deck, and all I need to know is where my 3 of diamonds is, and the selection will be right below it. Now, key cards can be used in the top, in the bottom, can be different parts of the deck. You could have a bunch of key cards that help you learn locations of a card. Regardless of the situation, let's say I happen to know the top card, the same thing would apply. So I happen to know the top card, I could have somebody pick a card, they put it back, bam, now I just go to my key card and it would be above it. That's it. That's a key card. A key card is just a known card. So how you want to find out a card varies in different ways. Sometimes some of these techniques to find a key card are very similar to how you would peek a card, which we're going to talk about later. So for instance, if I want to learn the bottom card, I could just rotate the deck and quickly glance the card at the bottom of the deck. I could do something called a bubble peek, where I push over the top card like this and I peek into there to see the selection. Let me see if I can get you to see it. Which is the 2 of spades, 2 of clubs. So, you know, that's another way. If I want to look at the bottom card, I could do another bubble peek right here, where I push in almost like I'm doing a Mercury card fold, and I'm pulling that in to see the bottom card. All great ways to find the location, to find a key card. But I'm going to show you something a little bit different. You shuffle up the deck here. Now I don't know what this is called. I call it the center peek. I know it's not mine, somebody taught it to me, but I think it's a really, really cool move, and I think you'll enjoy it. You can have somebody shuffle the cards, you could shuffle them yourselves, the order doesn't matter. We're gonna get the peek as we go. So, you're gonna tell them, I want you to look at a card, but I don't want you to think it's the top or bottom card or whatever. Even if I know one of the cards, I want you to know that it won't matter. So what I want you to do is pull a few cards out of the center of the deck. You see what I'm doing there? More than one, a small group. I want you to take those cards, look at the card at the bottom of that pack. Then you're just going to put it back on top of the deck. That's it. Now they do the same thing. So they go through here, they look at a card, and then they put it on top of the deck. Now, you saw the card, it was the 5 of spades. I saw the card, it was the 5 of spades. But did you see my key card? My key card was the 3 of hearts. So if we spread through the deck, all we have to do is look for the 3 of hearts, and there is the 5 of spades. So even if I don't know the card, I still know my key card. Now what's cool about this is there's like an offset, because you're showing them a different card, and then you're looking at something completely different. So let's show you how to do this. This is a lot of fun. I think you'll fool some people with it. The instructions are the way you get the key card. That's how you peek your key card, what you're doing. So when you tell them to pull a small group of cards out, and you show them the bottom card, this is kind of like the feint, right? Like, this is when you're saying, you don't really need to pay attention to this. But let's say they remember the King of Hearts. So you say take a group out, take a look at the bottom card, and then put it on top of the deck. And when you go to put it on top of the deck like this, I already peeked the Jack of Hearts on top of the deck. So all you have to do is take the pad of your finger and just pull over as you turn over the deck. So it happens real quick, just like this. Just go here, you peek the card, and then you turn it over. So here's the situation. Here's the situation we're in. They think that the King of Hearts might have something to do with it. So they go ahead and they pull some cards out. 5 of clubs, and they put it on top of the deck. So now, let's say you spread out the deck to show, to make sure that their card is still in the deck. So their 5 of clubs, which is next to my Jack, here, right? But the king that they saw before is here. So there's no way they're gonna believe that this has anything to do with this, right? Even if they understand the concept of a key card. So now I have my selection. So you can do this. So you go through that whole action, and then you spread out the cards. And you go, look, I just want you to make sure you still see your card. And all I'm doing is looking for my key card. That's it. This is all I care about. Now that I have it, I could do whatever I want from there. I could estimate where the card is, what have you, and do whatever kind of magic trick. So there you go. That's a fun little key card peek on the fly thing that I think you can have some fun with. Don't use it all the time. Use it sparingly, but in those moments, it's beautiful. All right, and the last thing we're going to talk about is a peek. A peek is basically finding out the identity of a card that somebody picked or peeked at, also whatever. So I'm going to show you 2 quick peeks, and then that's it. So the first one is going to be from a riffle peek. So if you happen to bring the cards up to the face, and then you tell somebody to say stop, they say stop, they look at the card, and from here, as I bring my hand down, I'm going to peek the card. Okay, so let's talk about how to do that. You riffle through the deck. Wherever they say stop, you show them the card, and you're gonna throw your pinky in to hold a break. Now, what I'm gonna do is rotate this out, and as I do, it's gonna step the card to the side. So in the action of me putting the cards down, I'll get the identity of the card, right? So here's how it looks. So you say stop, the spectator says stop, they look at the card, the Queen of Diamonds. So, all right, just remember the card, I don't want you to forget it. And there you go, I've gotten my peek. Okay, so you want to do this smooth. You don't want to necessarily slow down too much to let them see that. But if you just do it in motion, it just works. So you just grab a break, you turn over, and Jack of Clubs, all right? Super simple. That's one peek. Let's say you want to grab a peek from, let's say, a selection. You have somebody pick a card, they return it to the deck. You want to peek the card. Let's show you how to do that. So the card is selected. Card is put back into the deck. So you just go here. You go, do you know how to shuffle like this? If you do, here, take the cards and shuffle them up. So now I know it's the 9 of clubs. So essentially what's happening is I'm looking directly at the card. So the selection comes out, Queen of clubs, that card goes into the deck. And what we're gonna do is just this. So we're side jogging it, which I'll explain to you how to do, don't worry. And then as I go to hand them the deck, I just square it back into the deck. Very simple. So as you go to replace the cards, you're just gonna push from this corner with your middle finger. So you put your thumb in the middle of the deck, middle finger goes over to the corner, you push down, the card gets angle jogged. From here, the pinky is gonna push this corner down, and that gives you your peek. Now this is way too far, but all you need is that, and now you can find the identity of the card. So you say, can you give the cards a shuffle? And this position, you can look right at the card. I know from where the camera is, it's hard to see, but I'm looking at the card right now from this angle. So you have really good angles on this stuff. And that's another peek you can use. So play with it, try it out. There you go, you learned an angle jog as well. That's about it. I really hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please practice this stuff. We have some dope stuff coming. Check out Lost Art Magic. We're gonna be having some sales too, if you get some of this stuff. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm a scrub, but you still love me, you love me. Even though I don't make no money, you've been there when the times get ugly. I'm a scrub, but you still love me, you love me. I'm a scrub, but you still love me, you love me. Even though I don't make no money, you've been there when the times get ugly.